Welcome to Seize the Mains by Malhotra's IAS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative runs in coordination with Ignited Current Affairs 2.0. The details are there on the board. It's a monthly subscription model where all the current affairs on a daily basis are covered. All the important magazines and newspapers that that bring up important issues for your UPSC prelims and mains examination, they all get covered here. While Ignited Current Affairs runs on a paid model, Seize the Mains initiative is entirely free of cost. It runs in coordination with our website. On rajayesacademy.com, if you click on this mains answer writing section here at this point, this tab will appear, this landing page would appear. It's called Daily Mains Answer Writing Challenge, and all the questions with their model answers that we discuss here on Seize the Mains, they get updated on the website. So after watching this video, you can check out the full answer for today. You can check out what question we have framed from current affairs. Till date, we've covered like 162 questions in this particular season, all of them updated on the website. Also, the special part here is that if you click on any question, you can comment, you can send your answers in the comment section below, and a team evaluates those answers entirely free of cost for you and responds back to you in the next few days. So definitely join the initiative. It would prove to be immensely beneficial for your civil services journey. Let's see what is the topic for today. Ozone hole depletion. An Indian Express Explained series was seen the previous day regarding ozone hole depletion. So question with regards to that has been framed. Ozone hole is actually recovering, so why not take this chance and cover this entire topic in its entirety. So discuss the problem of ozone layer depletion. That is a very simple part of the question. How far have the global efforts contributed towards the protection of stratospheric ozone layer? Answer in 150 words. Submit your answers at rajayesacademy.com. So yes, day 163. Let's look at the question again. See, whenever there is an issue which has various subparts to it, you would see definitely discuss as the directive, discuss or elaborate or explain as the directive. Discuss is more of a formal directive, so definitely include all the data, all the viewpoints that are involved there. So the problem of ozone layer depletion, no viewpoints involved here, just data and statistics, and what is this problem about? How is this caused? So you'll have to talk about all the sides of this ozone layer depletion as a problem. How far have the global efforts contributed towards the protection of stratospheric ozone layer? So yes, the second part of the question, this can be answered in just one line, that yes, ozone layer is recovering, but that is not the right approach. You'll have to write about the Montreal Protocol. You'll have to talk about the amendment to Montreal Protocol, that is the Kigali Agreement. You'll have to talk about that. You'll have to write 1 to 2 lines about that. You'll have to write about the chemicals and how Montreal Protocol functions. Then in the conclusion or in the way forward, in the conclusion, we'll write about that how successfully Montreal Protocol has helped in recovery of ozone layer, and how it can be it can set a benchmark for other environmental protection treaties as well. So let's begin. In the first introductory paragraph, we'll write about ozone layer depletion. That is what is being asked about. So the problem of ozone layer depletion, that would be discussed in the introductory paragraph in 2 to 3 lines. Then we'll talk a little bit in detail about this problem. So ozone layer, first of all, talking about its importance. It is critical for planetary life since it absorbs UV rays coming from the sun, ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, which are known to cause skin cancer, eye cataracts, genetic and immune system damage, and many other diseases and deformities in plants and animals. So here basically what you're doing is you're summing up the importance of ozone layer. When you sum up the importance of ozone layer, you're definitely creating a ground, or you're creating a space in your answer for for importance of ozone layer and for conservation, why it is important to conserve the ozone layer. So ozone layer depletion is the gradual thinning. Now we are defining it. How do we define ozone layer? Basically, ozone is a gas. It has very less concentration in stratosphere, very less concentration, just a few molecules out of 10. Out of 10, just 3 molecules of ozone must be present. But these molecules, even if these molecules are not present, then UV rays can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere. So ozone layer depletion is the gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere or caused by the release of chemical compounds containing gaseous chlorine or bromine from industry and other human activities. You know, ozone layer depletion is considered natural also, but that happens only in cases of Antarctica. Otherwise it was man-made, and that's why because of the curbs on man-made activities, now recovery is happening. So definitely when you first time talk about ozone layer depletion, talk about gaseous chlorine or bromine from industry and other human activities. Though the problem is commonly referred to as the emergence of hole in the ozone layer, it is not actually a hole, it is just thinning or reduction in concentration of ozone molecules. This thinning is most pronounced in the polar regions, especially over Antarctica. There is another region over Australia where it was very pronounced, though lesser than Antarctica. And polar regions, these are the areas where it is highly pronounced. Now, since the first part asks us to discuss the problem of ozone layer depletion, we've talked about importance of ozone, we've given the definition of ozone layer depletion, and we've also talked about where it is happening, where is the ozone hole located or where is the depletion happening. Now we'll talk about the causes. So in 1980s, the story goes back to 1980s when scientists began to notice a sharp drop in the concentration of ozone. This drop was much more pronounced over the South Pole, which was later linked to the unique meteorological conditions. This is what we were talking about, the temperature occurring there, pressure, wind, speed and direction that prevail over Antarctica, and this happens mostly in the months of September, October and November. So by the middle of 1980s, scientists had figured out that the chief cause of ozone depletion was the use of a class of industrial chemicals that contain chlorine or bromine or fluorine. The most common of these were the chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs that were extensively used in air conditioning, refrigeration, paints and furniture industries. After that, you know, curbs on the use of CFCs and HCFCs, that was brought in by the Montreal Protocol. So by highlighting the causes of ozone layer depletion, the causes began here itself. So by highlighting the causes, now you are talking about the need of Montreal Protocol and what Montreal Protocol aimed to address. So the global recognition of destructive potential of CFCs led to the 1987 Montreal Protocol, a treaty phasing out production of ozone depleting chemicals. It is a landmark multilateral environmental agreement that regulates the production as well as consumption of nearly 100 man-made chemicals referred to as ODS or ozone depleting substances. And the special part about this protocol is that it is till date one of the rare treaties to achieve universal ratification. The other one is Kyoto Protocol, but Montreal is very much successful. Then the Montreal Protocol phases down. How it works, that you know continues in your body paragraph 2 as well, 2 itself, because the second part is how far have the global efforts contributed towards protection of stratospheric ozone layer. So since we do not have a lot of data here, what you can do is either write in terms of timelines, but that data is also not very much available, so timelines would not be a way to go. So definitely expand your Montreal Protocol and the Kigali Agreement, how Montreal Protocol functions. So it phases down the consumption and production of different ODS in a stepwise manner with different timetables for developed and developing countries, referred to as Article 5 countries. Under this treaty, all the parties have specific responsibilities related to phase out of different groups of ODS. Control of ODS trade, ozone depleting substances trade. We're starting with phase out. Phase out is the first one. The second is control of their trade. The third one is annual reporting of data. So there is a lot of check mechanism involved here. Then you have national licensing systems to control ODS imports and exports and other matters. Only few industries are allowed to use these ozone depleting substances. Otherwise, from most industries, phase out has happened. Developing and developed countries have equal but differentiated responsibilities. See, when we talk about Kyoto Protocol and Montreal Protocol, this term equal but differentiated responsibilities, that is very important. So never miss out on this particular term in your answers. But most importantly, both groups of countries have binding, time targeted and measurable commitments. So this was the explanation of Montreal Protocol. Now we'll write down about Kigali Agreement. So see Kigali Agreement of 2016, it included HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons, to Montreal Protocol. Now HFCs, they do not cause ozone depletion, but here you'll have to give one line regarding Kigali Agreement, because that is an amendment. That is a that was something that was current happening in the Montreal Protocol. So do not miss out on that. So in 2016, the Kigali Agreement to Montreal Protocol was agreed upon to reduce the manufacture and use of HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons. It was in the Annexure E, roughly by 80 to 85% from their respective baselines till 2045. This phase down, now write the benefit of it. HFCs might not bring down the level of ozone depletion, that's for sure, but they might bring down the level of climate change, the extent of climate change. So they are expected to arrest the global average temperature rise to 0.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. So 2 degrees Celsius and 1.5 degrees Celsius, that is your target under Paris Climate Deal, and 0.5 degrees Celsius is handled by this phase out of HFCs itself, which is covered not under Kyoto Protocol but Montreal Protocol. So now talk about the recent improvement. How has all this how has all these equal but differentiated responsibilities, these targets, this annual checks on these countries, phasing out of CFCs, how has this helped in recovery of ozone? So this is where your current affair news comes in. This is something that has to be put in your answer. Use your last paragraph, or what we call the concluding paragraph, to definitely to definitely talk about the recent update. The ozone hole has been steadily improving since 2000, thanks to the effective implementation of Montreal Protocol. So yes, that's one thing. The latest scientific assessment, there was a scientific assessment which was backed by United Nations or United Nations Environment Program. A scientific assessment backed by United Nations has said that if current policies continued to be implemented, the ozone layer was expected to recover to 1980 values, where it was first discovered, when it was first discovered. So 1980 values by 2066 over Antarctica, and by 2045 over the Arctic, and by 2040 over the rest of the world. So we are just 15 years away, almost around 15 years away from full recovery of ozone in all parts of the globe, apart from polar regions where ozone layer is very much depleted. So the success of Montreal Protocol in repairing the ozone layer is often offered as a model for climate action. So yes, for climate action, there are a lot of deals, there are a lot of targets regarding this Paris Climate Deal. There are, INDCs, nationally determined contributions, intentionally nationally determined contributions. But with climate change treaties, or with, for climate action treaties, the problem is that the targets are never achieved. The funding is not coming from developed countries, your GCF is not ready, and there are a lot of commitments but no action is happening. So definitely this stands as an example of successfully implementing something for environmental protection, that is your Montreal Protocol and protection or recovery of ozone layer. So yes, that is one of it. Let's end this answer and then let's see what is the other question that can be asked from here. It is argued that emission of greenhouse gases can also be similarly curtailed to arrest rapidly rising global temperatures. Now see, there can be another type of this question also. We ended this answer here. What you can see in your mains examination is that how can Montreal Protocol actually stand as a benchmark for climate change treaties or for climate action, or the last thing that we talked about, how can it stand as a benchmark, or what are the issues involved? So the issues involved would be that banning something that harms just the ozone layer, that is still easier as compared to banning something that produces your daily energy. For example, electricity that comes from fossil fuels. You cannot ban fossil fuels to prevent climate change all at once. Your greenhouse gases, methane is released from agriculture. You cannot ban agriculture or stop agriculture to contain the release of methane. So climate change is much bigger problem as compared to recovery of ozone. So yes, this also has taken a lot of decades for us to be able to be talked about its recovery, but climate change is going to be even more tougher, and both cannot be assessed on the same lines. They both cannot be assessed on the same lines. So that is about it. We'll link the Explain series of Indian Express article on our website. Definitely check that article out, and you'll get much more clarity with regards to when it comes to climate change and ozone layer protection. This question and the other question between comparing climate change and comparing ozone depletion, and how can they run in parallel, or how can one stand as an ideal example for the other. These 2-3 questions, they are expected in your mains exam. So definitely check the article out, check the full answer out on our website, which is rajayesacademy.com. The link to the website is present in the description. Post your answers on the website. We eagerly wait for your answers, and there are a lot of students who have benefited out of this initiative, and you can be one too. Stay tuned. I'll see you tomorrow with another discussion of Seize the Mains at 9 p.m. Till then, take care and keep working hard.